Well, tonight it's again packing for us, for Sigrid and for me. And usually when we pack and we pack and we pack. And I think of, well, when I'm done reading with that one book, and when I'm done reading with the second book and the third book, I end up putting 10 books in the suitcase. And I think I don't have enough. What if I'm getting bored and don't have it all covered? So by the end, I have to sit on the suitcase and pull the zipper all the way, and then I can barely lift it up. And hope it's not being rejected when it's being checked in, because it's too heavy. The total opposite Jesus tells those who are traveling in his name. Jesus sends the 70 out and says, you don't need all that stuff. Everything you may pack may become a distraction for you from focusing on the message and from focusing on the people to whom you will go. You are the instruments. You are the message. You carry that in yourself, and you don't need to be loaded for that. You are enough. You got that message in your heart. Carry it with you. The essentials, that's what matters. It's with you and not in your carry-on. It's with you. So take you and yourself to be the instrument. And when Jesus sends his disciples, his friends out, he gives them specific instructions what to do and how to communicate. He says the first thing you do is you walk up to people and you say, peace be with you. Peace, which in Hebrew and Aramaic means shalom, shalom. Now, to get a better understanding of what this peace means, in our Old Testament, which was Jesus' Bible, in the Bible, this peace is a holistic, it's like the presence of God all included in this peace. Shalom means wholeness of heart, where you have plenty and are full of joy, where your relationships are fulfilled, where you sense the presence of God right with you. That's all included in that one word, peace, shalom. It's the presence of the living God with you. That's peace. And when Jesus tells his disciples, go and say, peace be with you, he means when you go and talk with people, bless them. Just bless them. Bring out the best in them, the best. Be the light of the world and be the salt of the earth. That's what Jesus says. So be your best self and share that with the people. And blessings, don't they have this kind of boomeranging? Blessings boomerang. They echo back. If you are a positive influence, when you are at peace, when you are centered, when you're open to the living God, when you are that instrument in God's hands, and it's flowing through you, then some of that energy will come back to you. So Jesus sends them out and says, bless people. Be an instrument of peace. He also is very realistic, Jesus, and says, you know what? Some people will slam the doors in your face. I send you, you may be like lambs, and there will be some wolves out to get you. So don't be all fuzzy and illusional. You won't always be embraced and welcomed. There will be rejection. Now, he also says, when you feel the rejection, and that's almost like our sandals here, in the Gospel according to Matthew, it says, when the people reject you, take off your sandals and shake off the dust of your sandals, and it may be on them, and let them deal with it. So what Jesus says is pretty much, don't get in a fight, don't argue. There's nothing to argue about. Some people will just not welcome you. Some people are not ready for whatever reasons. When you want to bless them, when you want to share God's love, God's passion, God's exuberant joy with them, they may not be ready. So rather than getting in a fight, let it go. There is enough work. There are enough people who long for a blessing, who need a blessing, who want to be blessed, who want to receive the presence of the living God, whose instrument you will be. So today, I'm thinking as Jesus lined up his 70 disciples to send them out. How many do we have here? About 70, 75, 80? Imagine you are one of those. Jesus sends you out. And Jesus gives you these instructions. Jesus sends you, Deb and Lois and Laureen and Rick and Pat and Cheryl, and think of your name. Jesus blesses you and sends you out and says to you, go and be a blessing. Share Jesus' peace. Be peaceable. And bless the people whom you will encounter. Some people may not welcome you, but you are to be that instrument of Jesus' blessings. Now, some of that may mean for you that Jesus is calling you a little bit out of your comfort zone. How? Which way? Well, it means when he says go, it doesn't mean just lean back and on the sofa and wait for it to happen. He says, go, take the initiative, be that presence, take the next step. My wife Sigrid and I, we had one of those experiences. Years back, we were traveling through Hungary on our way from Transylvania, our home place in Romania, to Germany. And believe it or not, we had bought an old police car from an auction. So we were in a police car. It didn't have the lights on anymore, but we were in an old white Volkswagen police car. And we just drove through country roads, it was not built a big highway yet, but we drove by. And just in passing, we saw this elderly couple in the field, working in the field. And the man held a piece of a yoke that they had used to plow with their pair of oxen, and it was broken. We just drove by, and after we were by, we started talking with him. Did you see that? Did you see that? And we turned around. Now, what you need to know, Hungarian is a language that no one understands. German and English are all Anglo-Saxon languages. If you know a little bit of that, you can talk with Swedish and Dutch people and you understand them. In Romania, we spoke Romanian, which is a more Romance language. So if you know some of that, you can speak with an Italian and the French and Spanish, just understand a little bit. Hungarian is nothing like that, my friends, nothing. So we were starting to talk with this couple there. There was just no way to understand. But all I saw was this broken piece, 2 pieces of broken wood, and he pointed back toward the village from where he was. So we loaded them up, we took them back. And there was an exuberance of joy and of gratitude that came from this couple. Just there in the field they were. They gave us a dozen of eggs, they gave us frozen sausage, they loaded us up. They were so grateful, exuberant. Wow. Going a little bit out of our way, wasn't that far, like 5 miles back to the next village, but for them to walk all of that in the summer heat would have been torture. So we took them back, he picked the replacement piece, and he got on with his work. Getting out of our way, taking the road less traveled, taking that initiative. Where and how does God call you to get out of your comfort zone? And that does not have to be when you travel far away. It can be just in your neighborhood, can be just in your own town, in your own community. Where and how does God call you to get out of your comfort zone, to become a blessing for others? Tonight, we will pack. And I hope my wife keeps me grounded and says, Dietmar, you don't need all those books. You don't need all those pairs of shoes. You don't need all that stuff, no. Keep it to the basics. We can still wash stuff there. We don't have to take for 2 weeks all with us. But the one thing that I hope and pray as we travel, and that I ask you to think about as well, as you may travel or as you may stay here in the community, where and how does God call you to bless other people? Where and how are you to become an instrument of peace, of love, and of sharing God's joy? Where and how? And to what degree are you willing to get out of your comfort zone to move toward becoming that for someone else? So where and how does God call you to get out of your comfort zone and to become a blessing and an instrument of peace throughout this week?